Hey everyone, I hope everyone is doing well. For those of you who may not have watched any of these yet, my name is Sammy Nabolsi. I'm the Midwest Regional Director of the Midwest Affiliate of College and University Residence Halls. I know it's been a while since the last time I sent out my newsletter. I've actually been taking the last couple weeks preparing for my LSAT, which I just took this last weekend. So I'm glad to finally have that off my chest and really begin preparing for a conference that's just around the corner. I hope everyone's getting really excited. In fact, in regards to that, this weekend I'll be traveling down to Missouri State University, which is the conference site for this year's regional conference, alongside all the other members of the regional board of directors, and we'll be conducting a site visit and getting ready for our conference. Some really exciting news: we have about 494 delegates and advisors registered, which actually brings it to our highest attendance at a regional conference in quite a few years now. I know looking at the last 3 years, it certainly beats all those numbers. So we're really excited about having everyone come down. Excuse me, we have a few new schools coming, so we must give them a MACURH warm welcome. So please, I hope everyone's getting very excited for this and is getting all their alternates registered. I know John has been sending out a few emails in regards to that, so make sure you are reading those emails and registering your alternates if you have not done so. A few announcements, and then I also want to talk a little bit about a new program that we're going to try to introduce at the close of MACURH. So looking at some of the things that are coming up, first of all, affiliation is obviously something that's going to be very necessary if you want to actively participate at the regional conference. If you're not affiliated yet at the regional conference, you'll not be granted any voting rights during any of the boardrooms. And this is really important because we do have a few pieces of legislation that are very important to our policy book. Obviously plenty of bids and awards that we want to give out, and we need a very good number of students that are able to vote and discuss on these matters. And if you are not affiliated with the region, you're unable to really actively participate in boardroom. So be thinking about this. I know that registration is now over with, so if you do have any questions in regards to affiliation as you sit down and complete that process, please let us know. Also, fortunately for us, we will have a representative from the MACURH Information Center, the NIC, with us this year at the regional conference. So for those of you who are unable to send a check to the NIC or want to hold off on that, you will be able to pay your affiliation dues at conference as long as everything else has been submitted up until that point. As long as the only thing that they're waiting for are your dues to be affiliated, then that should be fine. You can actually bring that check with you to the regional conference. The next thing, as you guys may know, tonight at 11:59 p.m., the committee applications are due. I know we had our first round of committee applications. There was not a very high yield in responses, so I wanted to open that back up again. And so hopefully this time we've yielded quite a few responses. I know we had a few applications come in that very same night we reopened the committee application process. So those are due tonight at 11:59 p.m. and they are due to the Associate Director of Finance and Records, Alex Debner, at ma_adfr@nucurh.org. So please get those in. This is a great way to get involved with the region and participate in some of the projects that we do in between some of the conferences. The next thing, obviously, we have a very, very important due date this Friday. This Friday, if you're bidding for Regional Co-Advisor, or if you're bidding for any of the awards that were included in the bid guide that I prepared and sent out to everyone, those will all be due this Friday right before midnight, once again at 11:59 p.m. Those, however, will not be due to my email address. If you do send it to my email address, that's totally fine, but they're actually going to be due to MACURH.awards@gmail.com. This makes it really easier for all of us because then it centralizes all of the award bids and the positional bids in one central location so that we can quickly go through, make sure that they meet some of the the necessary criteria such as page limits, page numbers, cover page, format, things of this nature. And that way we can get back to you really quickly if there's anything you need to change right before that deadline. I will look at them as they come in. I won't wait till midnight. So if I do recognize just a formatting issue that I think you guys missed out, I'll certainly let you know so you can make those changes, because I don't want just a page number or some type of format issue get in the way of something that may be very well deserved for your institution. So as I said, this Friday they'll be due right before midnight to MACURH.awards@gmail.com. The next thing, if you are planning on bidding for MACURH 2011, which I already know who they are, but you guys don't know who they are, if you are bidding for MACURH 2011, those will be due on Friday, October 22nd, right before midnight. So not this Friday, but the following Friday. And so please be prepared to get those into us. Once again, the same rules apply. If you get it in a little early, I'll try to look through, and if I can find any small formatting issues, I'll make sure to get those recommendations back to you. Also, something I forgot in regards to this Friday, legislation is also due. So if you guys have anything you want to change necessarily in regards to policy book, finances, new programs you want to create within the region, new committees you want to create within the region, this is a perfect way to put your mark on what we do as a region, and bring that up to the entire region and the regional board of directors. So that legislation is going to be due also this Friday. If you have questions, if you have an idea but don't really know how to format or submit legislation, please shoot me a phone call or an email. I'd be glad to sit down and work with you. Or if you can at least send me maybe some wording, I can put it in the actual formatting document. That's all fine for me. So please, if you have any questions, contact me. Once again, those are due right before midnight this Friday. The next thing I have, 4-year PIN applications. This is a great way for individuals who have been involved with the region for several years now, not only given to their campuses, but on the regional and national level as well. This is a great way to kind of award yourself, actually, and recognize yourself for the amazing contributions that you have made. Those will be due to me, however, not via email. You will have to print that out and get a few signatures. So I ask that you print those out and send them to my address. You can find my address in the information below here in this email under my contact information. I won't say it right now just for the sake of time. So please look for that address. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email. Those have to be postmarked by October 22nd. So not to me by October 22nd, but postmarked. That gives us a couple weeks because I do plan on sending confirmation emails. So I haven't received them in some time. That means I probably have not received it. So make sure you're saving copies of this in the case that the United States Postal Service fails us and I do not get your application. And that gives us a couple weeks to really sort them out and make sure that all the proper information gets in. And the last thing I want to talk about before I get into my the next program is the program presentations. Obviously a very essential part of the regional conferences, and why many of us bring our large delegations is for the exchange of ideas and the exchange of programs. And so this Friday is the actual due date for anyone that wants to submit a program to present at MACURH 2010 at Missouri State. You can do that right on the main page. I will send a link with this email so you can just go and register your program. Just ask for a few simple questions. It won't ask you yet to send your full program or anything like that. It'll probably ask you for a brief outline and some specific contact information for yourself. So in the case that you do get accepted, they can notify you directly. And those notifications should go out shortly after our pre-retreat, I believe sometime the latter half of next week. And I'll make sure to include some of those details here in this email. So if you have any questions on any of the aforementioned information, I know it's quite a bit, please shoot me a phone call, text message, email, Facebook message, whatever would be easiest for you. And we can certainly, I can certainly get you some of those answers. And then the last thing I want to talk about is, when I bid for this position, I put a lot of stress on wanting to create new programs to really engage institutions in between conference times. And so Mike Madden, actually, who was the NCC last year from the University of Missouri Columbia, approached me with this idea to create some type of regional programming philanthropy to benefit some of the associations that he's worked with on the local level, but he'd like to bring to regional and national level. And so his his activism and his passions coupled with some of my ideas for regional programming, we created what's called currently called the Triple Action Program, or the AAA Initiative. And what this does is during the off times during conferences, in between conferences, we are going to pick one association. For instance, this year we're focusing on Autism Speaks, the ALS Association, which raises money to benefit Lou Gehrig's disease and research that goes towards Lou Gehrig's disease, and also Alzheimer's. We picked out these three associations, and what we're going to do is we're going to encourage some type of regional programming activities in between conferences. So we'll allot a time frame in which you can create programs on your campus, raise money, and we'll be giving out spirit points to the various institutions depending on your commitment and level of activity that you have in regards to this certain program during this time frame and within this framework that we provide. I know this is kind of a very vague description. We're going to go into a lot more detail at conference because our first time period, our first organization that we're going to work with is going to begin at the close of the regional conference here at Missouri State University, and so we'll be giving a more detailed presentation on this. But included in this email, I've included a link to a video that Mike has created that goes into further detail about this program. We spent the last couple weeks meeting with a lot of national executives from these associations. They're very excited about what we're doing. We're very excited about the potential to engage thousands of students within the region with one common initiative to really give back to these communities that have given so much to us. So I encourage you to watch this short video, and then also attached to this email is the PDF document that really goes into explaining the different components of the AAA program, the philanthropies that we're going to work with, the spirit points, allocations, things that you can do on your campus to raise money or raise awareness for these organizations, and then we'll kind of go from there. So if you have any questions on this, please shoot me an email, and Mike an email as well, and then and just expect some further details down the road. We'll be more than happy to answer any of this for you. Other than that, guys, I'm sorry for the long video, but it's been a while. I've got a lot of information for you. Otherwise, I hope everything is going well, and I look forward to seeing you all here in a few weeks. We'll see you, MACURH.